What's up? So I wanted to go over this little demonstration about stress, how it affects the metabolism, and how you want to think about it as you're sitting at home doing these workouts, but also managing different levels of stress as maybe sickness is coming or as you are working on a diet. So one of the things that is misconceived about stress is people think that stress is taken in differently into the body. But really when you look at the central nervous system, so the brain, it perceives stress as all the same. So stress from training, stress from work, stress from diet, all these different topics can be coming into the central nervous system and stressing out the body. So when we look at the stress capacity level, in order to adapt, we need some level of stress, right? You're in the gym, you're lifting weights, you need some sort of stress in the form of strength training for those muscles to grow. But let's look at training for an example. If you're overtraining, that capacity is gonna reach up over, and then you're gonna get biofeedback examples, as shown here, that are gonna be indicators that your body is taking on too much stress. Now, we talk about overtraining, but there's so many other things like I've mentioned that if you're not keeping count of and managing as an overall barometer of stress, then you're gonna start to run into troubles. So what happens if you're training 6 days a week, work's really stressful, you're in a 500 to 1,000 calorie deficit, struggling with relationships at home, maybe significant other have been fighting a lot, and then you've got inflammation. Maybe you're eating something that's causing your body to be inflamed in the gut. Maybe you have a cut in your hand. The body has to inflame and swell up to heal that area. That's something else that the body's dealing with. Then we look at disease, whether you have chronic diseases or sickness that just comes up. That's something that the body also needs to fight. That's something that the immune system needs to fight as well. And then you look at something like lack of sleep. Now, once you stack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these things up against you, that stress level goes from manageable to not manageable. There's also the possibility to be not having enough stress on your body, and that's when you see bodies just remain the same, and that's why it's important to continue to progressively overload in your training. But now I want to go over to this section where we look at the biofeedback. So there's signs that the body gives us, that the metabolism gives us, that says, hey, we're in too much stress, something needs to change. At the end of the day, the metabolism really wants to find homeostasis. It wants to find a comfort, balanced level, and these are signs that the body's not going to be in that. So let's say you're in a diet, 1,000 calorie deficit, training really hard, but you're also sick and you're not getting a ton of sleep. So the body's gonna give us this biofeedback by being over that stress capacity and say, hey, I'm craving a bunch of foods. Maybe I'm craving carbs to help deal with this stress that we're having. Or maybe I'm not sleeping as well because that body's lost its circadian rhythm, which is a completely another topic we could get into. Maybe you're really grumpy. There's no sex drive. Right? Libido's down, not interested in stuff that it's what a normal human would be interested in because the body's under stress. If you think about it, a body that is chronically sympathetic, right? That is your fight or flight response. Think of an animal. An animal that is being chased by a lion is not thinking, oh, I want to mate. That's where you want to get into your parasympathetic state, which is where you see digestion. It's where you see a rise in anabolic hormones for growth. That's going to be the state that you want to be in, where you're able to, have an increase in sex drive or have an increase in muscle growth, increase in sleep. But when we're not parasympathetic and we're getting biofeedback that's saying, all right, we're craving a bunch of food, sex drive's low, mood's down, we're not sleeping as well, that's a sign that we're over our stress capacity, that we're chronically sympathetic, and we need to do things to manage back over here in the training, sleep, disease, relationships, diet. We need to manage all of these so that we can bring it back to an adaptable level, because that's going to be one of the biggest keys with stress. You want to find a level that you can adapt to and then grow from, but if it gets over this level right here, then you're going to get these negative indicators and you're most likely going to regress backwards. So what are the first few things that you could start to address to bring this level down? Number one's going to be sleep. I would also say look at your diet, make sure that you're not doing anything too extreme with the body, and then do things to manage inflammation. And when it comes to training, work, and relationships, just keep an eye on that. If one works really heavy, maybe you're in busy season from an accounting job, or you're going through different things, relationship, or maybe you just had a kid, you need to give yourself time, pull training down so that you can keep this overall stress level at a manageable level.